Okay, we are reminding ourselves again of the 3 claims of rhetoric, and we're doing that because specifically we want to focus on one today. We've already focused on pathos to quite a great extent. You've done some writing work on that. We've done some exercises. But today, I'd like to look at ethos specifically. I'd like to look at ethos and talk about how an author might build credibility. And I'll ask you the general question. We've kind of touched on this a little bit before. Let's focus on it fully. How does an author gain credibility? How does an author develop trust within the reader such that the reader believes him or her? Let's not talk about just general rhetorical devices. Let's talk about who the person is that makes us trust a person. Sarah, I'm glad you went to the devices, but let's think off that list. Oh, knowledge. Okay, so somebody who is knowledgeable. Excellent. Jake? Okay. Somebody, how do I want to put this? Somebody who lives with the area. Somebody who has, we'll talk about his primary experience. Sarah? What else? Knowledgeable, somebody who has primary experience, somebody who's honest. Jake? Let's say credentials. So even if they don't have a degree, let's say they've got years of experience. Right? We had an interesting discussion in period 3. When I asked them this question to them, they gave me all of this information about college experience, professional experience, all the credentials answers. You guys are a little bit different, but they kept giving me experience and credentials answers. So I put it to them this way to emphasize a point about ethos. Let's say I want to read an article or an analysis or a paper about U.S. involvement in the Middle East. Right? That's my topic, U.S. involvement in the Middle East. Would you agree that I want somebody who has been studying this for a while? Yes. Would you agree that I want somebody who has been intimately involved, actually been there and interacted with the people? Yes. Would you say that I want somebody who has really made it his or her kind of life work to focus on this and study it over the space of years? Yes. Would I want somebody who has access to research information, data from the, okay, good. So you've answered yes to all 4 of those. So would you say that I would be okay reading the analysis or an analysis written by Osama bin Laden? No? But he answers all 4 of those, doesn't he? So hold on a second, though. He's got firsthand experience. He's made it his life's work. He has access to the culture and an intimate understanding of it. He has access to research, quite a lot of data. While you're saying he's not fit and he's not credible for some reason of bias. So not only must this person be knowledgeable and skilled and reliable in terms of the credentials, but what else must this person be? Not necessarily neutral, actually. We wouldn't be looking for somebody necessarily who's neutral all the time. Yeah, we might like that. And that would be the very ideal answer. Both you and Daniel are giving the ideal answer of being neutral, unbiased. You think? Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Connor. And I was stating what I was stating just to make a point that we also look for some almost indefinable quality of morality within our speakers. We need them to be moral people. And when you throw the answer of honest up on the board, fantastic answer. Because we always look at credentials and who is this person, who do they work for, what college experience they have, how many years in the field, but that doesn't really hit something absolutely vital that we seek for. And that is the moral character of the person, which is announced in a number of subtle ways throughout their writing. what does the word ethos look like to you? What word does it seem familiar? Ethical. It derives from some of the same roots. Your ethos is not just your credentials. It's your personal character, who you are as a writer, who you are as a speaker. And are we naturally attracted to that quality within you, or does it repel us? So you announce your identity. And by the way, this year has all about been, me wrestling with you on the verb choice and the passive voice and everything I wrestle with you on. I am trying to create an identity in you. And that identity is professional and serious and effective. Why? Because ultimately I want you going out there and getting the job that you want. And when it comes to ethos, when it comes to presenting character that people want to be attracted to and want to trust, I want professional, I want serious, I want detail-oriented, because that's what people want out there. All right? I'm aware of this, everybody's aware of it, and that's what I've been trying to do with you all year long. Let's focus on Bissinger for a moment. Let's not even look in the text. Let's not look in the chapters. Let's look around the text. Do you have any information in that book about who this guy is? Yeah, you do. All over it. Give me information about who this guy is. Looking forwards, looking afterwards, look at the cover. Look anywhere. Do you have information about who he is? Hold on. I want specific facts, though, about him. Sarah? Okay, so he is a best-selling author. Aha, there we go. Pulitzer, etc. Very good. Connor, did you have something else? Yeah. Good. Tell me, scan through. Tell me a little bit about him. Oh, family man. And more importantly, he not only a family man, but he takes them. Tori, what else do you have? Good. Sarah, what else you got? Good. And he's written other books for which he has received awards, and he has been a best-selling author. Wow, that's a lot. And you said you had nothing on him. We got a lot on him. Can you tell me something up there that makes you, that might decrease his credibility? Might have a negative effect on his claim of ethos? Yeah. Why? Oh, no. Hold on. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia might as well be in different states. Those are, whoa. If you've been to Western Pennsylvania and then Eastern Pennsylvania, you know it's amazing that they're the same state. The cultural differences, the geographical differences between the two portions of the state is amazing. So Pittsburgh to Philly, I lived outside Philadelphia for a number of years. First time I went to Western Pennsylvania, I was amazed. It was a shock. Western Pennsylvania is a lot more like Ohio. Western Pennsylvania is a lot like West Virginia. It's more like that Rust Belt, mountainous sort of wilderness terrain, and that's where you're going to find Pittsburgh. East Coast, it's like New Jersey. Very good. Yeah, it's like New Jersey. And therefore it's like New York. In fact, some people have considered the eastern seaboard of the United States around there to be what they call a megalopolis, which means one big city that actually extends down the coast. A megalopolis, all the way from Boston down to Philadelphia, including Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, and some of the other cities in there. But those three, Baltimore and Washington, that's right. And that is the East Coast, home of liberal intellectuals and the Ivy League and the United Nations. That's a different world. And it's a radically different world from Odessa in western Texas. How could that, Josiah, hurt his credibility? How can you understand us? How can you be a voice for us if you've never had this experience or even anything close to this experience? Good point. Yeah. Absolutely. So something of that experience in being a journalist could give him credibility and could possibly counterbalance the lack of primary source experience that he has. Also, consider it this way. The view of an outsider who's not biased by living in that town could be a valuable way of depicting Odessa. Maybe Odessa is unable to see itself. Do you ever reach for somebody else's opinion on you, the way you look, the way you act, the way you speak? They're all staring at me. No. I hope so, please, every once in a while. Um, it was very interesting for me when I started recording these videos and posting them online because it was the first time I ever listened to myself teach. And some of it I liked and some of it horrified me. Just, yeah, well, I've listened one time, one of the first ones I recorded was just like a 10-minute introduction to a unit. This was a few years ago. It was a Greek literature unit for the honors. And I listened to about 2 minutes of it and I thought, I'm falling asleep. This is the most god-awfully boring class in the history of the universe. No, 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 no. And so I thought, well, I've got to change what I'm doing here. This doesn't work. But the only way that I could do that is accessing that external perspective. I couldn't listen to myself while I'm doing it. And that's possibly a benefit here. It's a sticky situation. It's not easy to pin down what the impact is. But I don't care. All I care about is that you're writing about it in this way. That you're saying, hey, this is a fact about Bissinger. It affects his ethos, it affects his credibility in this way, and then you're exploring and rationalizing it in the way that we just did. Because these are complex issues. And ultimately, what we really must think about is how does Bissinger try to convince his audience to believe him inside the text? We've looked outside the text. Now let's look inside the text and think about it. And the hands are going up, and that's fantastic, but we're out of time. And so it's a question that we will table for next time. So next time we visit this, we'll start talking about inside the text. And I want you to think about that as you're reading Friday Night Lights. Think, what is he doing here that makes me believe him or not believe him? What is he talking about? And something more important, and I want you to try to think in this way. What is he not talking about? In talking about fathers and sons and dreaming of heroes, what has he failed to talk about? Mothers. Thank you very much. Conspicuously absent from this discussion. Is that important? Is it not important? Does it hurt his credibility? Does it benefit his credibility? I don't know. It's for you to decide.